The other team that was in on the Carson Wentz sweepstakes, well, can you really call it a sweepstakes? It's more like, hey, who wants this rotten potato derby? But nah. But the other team that was in, besides the Indianapolis Colts, was the Chicago Bears. But now that the former NDSU Bison is headed to Indianapolis, what do the Bears do at quarterback? Well, they're probably out of reach for Deshaun. I guess they should have just should have just drafted him in the first place in 2017. Yeah. And at number 20 overall in the draft order, they're probably out of range for one of the top quarterbacks in the draft. Like, they might not even see Mac Jones get past Washington at 19. So no dice there. And an open free agency, like, what are you going to do? Like, Dak's not leaving Dallas, but what, sign Andy Dalton or the corpse of Cam Newton? Sure. Their only option might be to extend or tag Mitchell Trubisky Ponder. And as a Vikings fan, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful cacophony of just goodness. We'll get into it. And I think that the Bears actually did have a legit shot at getting Wentz, where, John DeFilippo, of course, Vikings fans were very familiar with him. New passing game coordinator for the Bears. Obviously has ties with Wentz in their time in Philly, and he didn't go for that much. A current third-round pick and then a conditional second-rounder that could turn into a first, like the Bears couldn't have topped that. Like the Bears couldn't have offered number 20 overall this year and some change. But maybe the Eagles didn't want to deal him in conference, but yeah, sure. But this situation is exactly what the Bears and GM Ryan Pace and head coach Matt Nagy, fake-ass Brad Childress deserve. All the chickens are coming home to roost because, number one, of course, they traded up for Trubisky Ponder in 2017 and took him ahead of Mahomes and Deshaun, which is, of course, very famous. It's like the Wolves passing on Steph Curry twice. It's great. Number two, they didn't pick up Trubisky Ponder's fifth year, which would have solved a lot of problems in this spot. This is the final year where a fifth-year option. We're not fully guaranteed. They're only injury guaranteed, but the dummies, they didn't do it. They're just like, nah. Number three, they traded for Foles last offseason, and then they went back and forth, and then Trubisky played just well enough down the stretch of the season and got them into the playoffs, where it's like, oh, okay. Sure. And it's wonderful. It is. Plus, Pace and Nagy are on the hottest of hot seats, where Bears ownership, they could have given them the vote of confidence at the end of the year. They're like, okay, sure. Okay, sure. Right. So it wouldn't shock me if Bears ownership doesn't let them extend Trubisky long term, or they don't let them make big moves, because Ryan Pace, bro, you're not going to be here anyway, so why are we letting you do franchise changing moves anymore, huh? So they probably won't let him trade up for a quarterback. They won't let him move heaven and earth for Deshaun, even though that would be a good move. So for that, we thank you. So it's possible that they'll have to franchise tag or transition tag Trubisky, which is just hilarious. Franchise tag quarterbacks for 2021 is estimated at $24.112 million. This is from SpotRack, and transition tag is $21.749. And you may as well transition tag him, because there's not going to be any teams that are just going to be willing to give up multiple firsts for Trubisky. Ain't happening. Or maybe they get him back on a small 1 or 2 year deal, but I don't know if they'll get him for cheap, because there could still be some competition for him for teams that may miss out on quarterbacks in the draft. You look at the Patriots, who draft 15, the Niners, who draft 12. Like, maybe they're not in on Trey Lance. Maybe they prefer Trubisky, which would be funny, after they punt on Jimmy G. Washington at 19 could make sense, even though they brought back Taylor Heineke. The Raiders are always looking to upgrade from Derek Carr, it seems. So the Bears might have some competition, and either franchise or transition tagging him might be the only option. And that's just good to me. Like, franchise tag player Mitchell Ponder. Like it. Now the Bears are $2.5 million over the $185 million estimated cap by SpotRack. Remember, it's a $180 million floor minimum. It could be going up from there, but it won't be going up far. But things could move around. They could restructure Khalil Mack and Kyle Fuller, Akeem Hicks, Eddie Jackson, Robert Quinn, etc. So they can do it. They can fit in franchise tag player Mitchell Trubisky Ponder. And respect. I mean, Trubisky did play well down the stretch, won 3 of his last 4 regular season games. Yes, one against the Vikings. Hey, congratulations for putting up numbers against the worst defense in NFL history. He was efficient, was a non-factor in their playoff game against the Saints. By the way, great game to get kids interested in football, by the way. Like, the entire generation of kids who watched that game just became soccer fans. Good job, America. So the Bears are stuck. And as a Vikings fan, as a fellow participant in the NFC North, I love it. I dig it, man. Like, delusions of grandeur gone. And if I'm a Bears fan, I'm pissed. I'm fully pissed off because Allen Robinson ain't coming back. He's like, deuces, I'm out of here. This hot mess, no, I'm out. Pace is a clown. Matt Nagy is garbage. Trubisky is not the answer. And the party is over. But ownership just wants to delay the inevitable a year. It's almost like they don't want to fire everyone, have to pay everyone, and then hire an all-new GM and new head coach and new staff. That's pretty much it. But delaying the inevitable, it's not like we as Vikings fans know what that's like. But your thoughts, Bears, Trubisky. I mean, they're just made for each other. Like, you ever see a horrible couple, and you're just like, you two are the worst ever. And you deserve each other. That's the Bears and Trubisky. Yeah. But your thoughts, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, pull something in Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.